Buen día, Uwe, gracias por estar en el canal. Bienvenido, es un gusto y es un honor que estés acá en el canal.
When this channel started, I was always telling John, let's bring Uwe. 3 years later, finally we have you, and John got and myself got, we got questions.
Bueno, bueno, Uwe, ahí quiero preguntarte sobre uno de sus debuts en el cine que es bastante, bueno, de hace bastantes años, que se llama Herman Free Movie. Entonces, ¿cómo fue la experiencia?
Okay, John always does this. He always go back to the beginnings, and in the IMDb it appears that your first movie is German Fried movie. So anything you wanna tell us about your beginnings a long time ago, go ahead.
Yeah, so German Fried Movie was, of course, very orientated on Kentucky Fried Movie, the John Landis film. And it was also, I think, a clever decision to do a film where you don't need to shoot 25 days, 30 days in one row, where you can do one scene and then 2 or 3 weeks later you do another scene with different actors, because we had so many different scenes. And we made basically jokes about TV, other films, politics, everything. So it was a compilation film. And I think if I would shot first my second film, I would maybe didn't had a film career, because the second film, Barschel, Murder in Geneva, tanked. But German Fried Movie worked very well. It went to the movie theaters in Germany, and it was sold to a big German TV production company. So it was, in a way, a good entrance to the film industry.
No, pues él dice que fue una película en homenaje a otra cinta de John Landis, que es sobre el Kentucky Fried Chicken, el KFC. Él dice que fue una película donde dirigió muchos autores y que de no haber salido la que salió después, no hubiera sido la primera, sino la segunda, solo que por tiempo salió esa película. Dice que fue una muy buena manera de entrar al cine.
Bueno, antes de darle pues, la palabra, hay una que en particular que es como similar, que se llama Becher. Entonces es como el protagonista tiene el mismo nombre pues que Uwe, así que te quería preguntar sobre esa experiencia.
Why the protagonist of, I hope I pronounce it right, Barschel, Mordy, and Gent got the same name as you, Uwe?
That was an accident. That was because he has the same name. At this time in Germany, a lot of kids' names were Uwe because of Uwe Seeler, the soccer player. So there was a German soccer player, Uwe Seeler, who was a big star in the national team, everything. And so when you were born in the 1960, 1965, this kind of area, I'm from 1965, then a lot of names was Uwe, you know. So, and that was the reason I think we were both almost the same age. He was a little older as me, but that is why his name was Uwe too.
Es porque en esa época un futbolista llamado Uwe Seeler, y ese nombre era muy popular en Alemania. O sea, eso es una coincidencia que pues el protagonista se llama igual que Uwe, pero no tiene nada que ver, o sea, con el director futbolista.
Thank you, Uwe.
Wow, now it's my turn. I got 3 questions, but I know how to start it because this question I got it for years, even before the channel. Well, let's start with this one. I don't know if you know that when you did Alone in the Dark, there is like a landmark because you directed the music video for Nightwish, one of my favorite bands, I Wish I Had an Angel. And this is one of the best music videos that from a symphonic metal band. Usually the symphonic metal videos are not that great. This is great. And this movie got an amazing soundtrack. And I am one of the defenders of the movie. So yeah, tell us how was the experience working with Nightwish, with this soundtrack. In fact, maybe John told you before that we had interviewed people that had worked with you, like, I don't remember the names now. John will tell me the names because I'm so excited. But yeah, tell me how was doing this music video for Nightwish and of course, this movie. I am one of the defenders and lovers on Alone in the Dark.
We made a deal for the soundtrack and everything, and the record company said, you want to do a video with Nightwish? And I said, yeah, we can shoot the video. But we shot that in Germany. We didn't shot that in Canada, where we shot the film. And there is a huge thing in Wiesbaden, close where I live, it's basically an old slaughterhouse. And they use it now as a disco club. And this is where we shot the music video. And I remember, because they're all from Scandinavia, Nightwish, they were all enjoying a lot of alcohol, because in Germany, the alcohol is way cheaper as in Scandinavia. So they were all kind of drunk, but they still performed very well. But it was kind of funny to shoot the video. But the cameraman is Matthias Neumann, the same cameraman as for Alone in the Dark. You want to translate it first, and then I talk about Alone in the Dark, or what you do?
Go ahead, because I need to know about that movie.
Yeah, and then Alone in the Dark, I think, was the first, after House of the Dead, the second video game-based film I did with a lot of stars this time, like Christian Slater, Stephen Dorff, Tara Reid. There were kind of bigger names as the names I had in House of the Dead. And we spent more money. We had more CGI. The bad thing on Alone in the Dark was that Atari never finished the game, what was very close to our film, because they closed down the facility in Los Angeles. And so people were asking, like, what is the game story from our film? And I said, we made a new story, because we were thinking that our story will translate in another video game, in a new video game. And that never happened. So some video game fans were mad about it.
And in fact, John, because John understands a little, yeah, we got people like Michael Parhil, like Annette Cole, talking great things about your working with you, but I will translate. John, wow, ahora todo tiene sentido, John. Lo que pasa es que, bueno, sobre lo del el video de Alone in the Dark, la banda sonora, se grabó fue en Alemania, no en Canadá como se hizo la película. Fue ese lugar que tú ves en el video de I Wish I Had an Angel de Nightwish. Es un matadero y ahora es un club de baile en Alemania, lo que pasa es muy loco. Y ellos están muy borrachos, pero dice que yo le dije que son los mejores videos que se han hecho incluso de la banda. Y Alone in the Dark, John, todo tiene sentido. Lo que pasa es que Atari cerró las oficinas y se suponía que la historia, porque mucha gente criticó que la historia no tenía nada que ver con la película, con el videojuego. No, lo que pasa es que se suponía que el videojuego que iba a salir de Atari era sobre la película. Se cerró, por eso nunca salió el videojuego de la película como tal con la historia de Uwe. Es que muchos lo critican porque le decían, pero no tiene nada que ver, no es que se iba a crear un nuevo videojuego. Ya todo tiene sentido.
Ahora todo tiene sentido, ya puedes morir en paz, eso es lo más importante. Sí,
Con las que vienen ahorita.
Hay también otra pregunta que me tiene cuestionado, porque está en cineforos, Quora, Reddit, en muchísimas partes, que dicen de que cómo tomó la percepción del público en Alemania, en Anguish, en el filme, porque trae historias de lo que pasó y todo, y pues cómo lo tomó la gente.
Okay, this is a question that is not only for us, but a lot of forums. And how does Germany to your approach in your movie Auschwitz?
Auschwitz. Oh, okay, Auschwitz. So I was thinking like no, in Germany, I got first resistance, right? So in Germany, they were not so happy about Auschwitz, because I just showed the murdering, the killing, the not like positive stories, about people trying to kill Hitler or something. And that was for Germany not so good. But I think in the other countries, they liked Auschwitz a lot. Also in Israel, they liked Auschwitz a lot. In America too, because it was not telling really these typical stories we know, like Schindler's List or whatever. All that films made about the Holocaust are kind of hero stories about people. They want to help people or they want to survive and whatever. And I try to portray it how it was. I mean, if you went to Auschwitz, most of you died almost the same day you came in. So there was no time for heroic, long-lasting stories or something.
John dice que sí, que es verdad que en Alemania hubo mucha resistencia, pero sí en Norteamérica y en estos países gustó mucho, pero pues es que él decía que no podía mostrar algo suave porque en el sentido de que pues tú ibas a Auschwitz, tú morías el mismo día. O sea, dice que la resistencia sí se tomó en Alemania, pero que en el resto del mundo sí tomaron, pues, o sea, sí asumieron bien esa película. De hecho, creo que es de las mejores reseñadas creo que tú lo has leído, ¿cierto, John? Es de las mejores reseñadas de él.
Exacto, sí, tienes razón. Bueno, buen trabajo, sigue, Andrés.
Yeah, you mentioned House of the Dead. I watched that movie in fact the same year that it came out. I was starting to and really enjoy video games, and for me it was crazy how the movie meets the scenes from the real video game, the arcade, as the game, and everything is so Sega. So anything you wanna tell us about them, especially for me about House of the Dead, go ahead. I mean this movie is crazy in a good way. I enjoy it. In fact, I all the effects and I think this really translates to the video game. In fact, the video game itself is so harsh. Got a lot of curses and jokes. So tell us more.
Yeah, I mean that was I played House of the Dead also only in the arcades, sitting there shooting zombies, and I took a lot of the camera positions, the POVs, together with a lot of technical stuff. We had like a turntable where the camera rolls around. We had the matrix set up with 300 cameras. We did a lot of explosions, a lot of action, a lot of gore, so, and I just didn't want to make a normal zombie movie we all saw before. I wanted to do something different, what is a little like a video game, but at the same time a horror film, what works as an action horror zombie shooter in a way, so that people can also watch it who never played the game.
Porque, bueno, le pregunto sobre House of the Dead. Tú sabes muy bien que pues House of the Dead se toma unas licencias muy extrañas, por ejemplo, muestra escenas del videojuego, que eso es una locura en esa época. Hay una escena que yo sé que la has visto, que es la escena de Matrix, y eran 300 cámaras. Esto, para las escenas rodantes, fue una locura porque él usa una mesa rodante, no me imagino cómo lo hizo. Y él dice que sí, que él jugó el videojuego, y esto es algo que, pues, que es lo bueno que quiero decirle ahorita, Uwe, la próxima pregunta, que él se nota que sí conoce las fuentes de los juegos, él no está, digamos, como captando por adaptar, y él dice que quiso hacer una película distinta, que no se sintiera como la típica película de zombies. A mí me gusta mucho House of the Dead. I remember, and this is what, and I also congratulate Jhon to have you here, because sometimes, let's say bad words, the media tends to be like assholes, and they don't really appreciate. I mean, if you wanna say something good or bad of a movie, at least watch the movie, know more. And I remember an old interview of you that you defend Blood Rain. I also defend Blood Rain because you said, but this heroine is more believable. This movie is really well made, and in fact, it's really well made, and it's crazy because it was a time that, in fact, I think you were on the first that started all this thing of adapting video games. Now is the fashion. So yeah, we want to know it in a more I don't know how's the word, because you know that this channel is for movies. We respect the judge for the directors. Years before that interview, tell us why do you still defending not only Blood Rain but Blue Erela? We got people from Blue Erela here, the amazing Annette Cole. How do you defend your heroines? And I love Blood Rain, by the way.
The critics to me in the beginning, they were merciless, right? They were very, very bad. And they hit on me, and they felt like it's an insult that somebody is making a video game based movies. And now, like 20 years later, before, I think House of the Dead was 2003, was the first one. And a lot of people writing in retrospective, like Boll, in a way, started it all, way before the big trend came of video game based movies. Now you have them everywhere. And I felt like over time, I think that people got nicer. They enjoyed the movie more, and they felt also, in comparison to a lot of films who got made the last 10 years, the films holding up good. I think my films, in a way, aging well. I just did another House of the Dead commentary with a film website. And when we watched the film, it looks good. It still looks good. And the technical aspects look good. The computer effects look good. The gore and action looks good. The same with Alone in the Dark or Blood Rain. And with Blood Rain, the reviews, I felt at that time like the reviews were the same as for Alone in the Dark or House of the Dead. So the reviewers were not really watching my films. They were just writing the same review, whatever film I did. And I said, like, Blood Rain is totally different as House of the Dead. And Alone in the Dark is totally different as Blood Rain. And then In the Name of the King, like Dungeon Siege was totally different, and Far Cry was totally different, and Postal was totally different. I never made similar films, even if they were based on video games. You know, I think the only thing what connects all of this was that they're based on games and that they were all very action driven. They had a lot of things happening and were never boring.
In fact, I think one of the other actresses that appeared in one of your movies, you have to correct me, is Natalie Portman. I think she appeared on Dungeon Siege 2. I remember. Yeah, I will tell John. And thank you, John. Otro datazo, claro. Natalie Portman salió en Dungeon Siege 2, acuérdate.
Sí, la gran
Sigue
Natalie.
acordando porque han salido muchos. Natalie, Michael, Annette. No, pues John, yo le hice una pregunta que para mí era muy importante porque hace mucho tiempo, bueno, hace como 20 años, ahí los críticos andaban durísimos. Y yo sentía que los críticos no veían las películas, porque le andaban duro pues por andarle duro. Y él en una entrevista muy vieja, él defendió Blood Rain, y obviamente Blue Verela. Yo le dije que años después, ¿cuál es su respuesta? Porque pues hace 20 años no pasa lo que pasa ahora, que pues las adaptaciones de videojuegos son muy normales. Él dice lo mismo, que él siente que nadie veía las películas, que solo criticaban por criticarlo, pero que ahora se ve pues la respuesta, ¿no? Y no, pues Blood Rain es una película muy buena. Dale, John. Y que él dice que lo único que conecta sus películas es que son adaptadas en videojuegos, pero cada una es muy distinta.
Eso es increíble. Fíjate en algo que hay, el rol que hace como productor ejecutivo y también como productor, él ha invertido pues en un proyecto de hace tiempo que se llama Beijing. Esa historia, el Beijing, como dicen, es una historia rusa de terror, que es una de las primeras películas y la readaptaron. Entonces quisiéramos hablarles sobre cómo fue también ese recibimiento de la readaptación de esa historia y si le gustaría volver a asumir los roles de productor ejecutivo para ese tipo de historias.
Okay, now let's talk about your role as an executive producer. And John is talking me about a movie, I hope I pronounce it right, is BIG or B, I don't know, it's a Russian movie. And how do you feel, being the producer, do you wanna, I don't know, like taking back this history? Do you wanna keep continuing being the executive producer, not only being the director?
Sometimes I'm only the executive producer because I just help people making films, right? So we helped a lot of with my event films and my Boll KG. We helped a lot of filmmakers also in Italy with Zombie Massacre, Eaters, Morning Star. I produced a lot of stuff or helped producing films to get them financed from other directors. And but I never. I don't interfere them because I'm a director myself. I don't interfere in the filmmaking. You know, I think it's like the job of a producer is to make things happening, and then the filmmaker has to pull it off. And of course, sometimes you produce something or you help producing something where you think that was not good or whatever, but you cannot change it retroactive, basically, right?
Él tiene muy claro cuál es el rol del productor ejecutivo, que de hecho él incluso en Italia ha producido muchísimas. Hay una de zombies y todo, pero él dice que bueno, y aquí yo creo que tú comprendes, que si la película sale bien o mal, pues él no interfiere, o sea, él entiende muy bien que eso ya es pues como problema del director, y él entiende muy bien ese rol, y él le gusta ayudar a producir otro material, y él ha hecho muchísimo material, hecho en Italia y obviamente en Rusia, pero es que él dice que no tocaría de nuevo ese material. What is your vision? Because yeah, as you mentioned, and John was talking me about House of the Dead, but not in the video game aspect, but in the terror. In fact, you tell it, every movie, yeah, they are adapted for a video game, but someone are terror, other are thriller, other are action. But what's your vision as a director of this genre, the terror genre, like Heart of America, of course?
it's a strange word because we in Germany don't really use it for, we would say, horror in the world or violence in the film or something. And but when you see my films, I think I have various films. They're based on more reality, like Assault on Wall Street, Rampage, Darfur, Tunnel Rats, Stoic. So I do a lot of films. Mostly then I write these films myself. The video game based films I normally don't write myself. And because I'm very political interested in what's going on the planet. And so, and I do very harsh, violent, existential films about things they happen, like Auschwitz or, and Darfur, I think was very violent, but it was necessary to show this. And I did a German film, Hanau, like a few years ago about an attack here by Frankfurt, where I live, where a guy shot 9 people in a shisha bar, like in the smoking. They were smoking, and they killed them, and then he killed himself and his mother. And I got in Germany a lot of resistance that I did that film from the press and the politics, because they don't want that this gets shown so big that gets like more discussed. And I feel film is kind of a possibility in a fiction film to show stuff different as you can do in a documentary or in news, in TV news. You can go behind this and you can fill the blanks. You can fill and make a story out of it where you basically get an overall emotional feeling to something what happened, And I did that with various, even Heart of America, about the school violence in America and so on. So, yeah.
Porque tú sabes muy bien que esa película habla de otro tipo de terror, no más real. Él dice que le pasó algo similar con una película que hizo en Europa, en Alemania hace poco, sobre el tiroteo, tú sabes, del tipo que entró al bar de fumadores y mató a un montón de gente y después se suicidó. Dice que hubo una resistencia muy grande en Europa, bueno, más que todo en Alemania, porque los políticos no les gusta que muestren eso. O sea, la gente siempre es como, oye, no muestres esas historias de Europa. Él dice que él ve esas películas, no solo esas, sino la Aspich, la de Ratas de Túnel, Tunnel Rats, Rampage. Él las ve como películas existenciales, sí, buenísimo, obvio. Él las ve como películas existenciales. Y que él dice que él las tiene que mostrar así, fuertes, porque para él dice que él se vio en unos tiempos muy locos, que el terror para él es ese, o sea, el verdadero terror. Dice que obviamente Heart of America es una película aterradora, pero porque es real, pero él dice que las tiene que filmar así se enoja el gobierno.
Vamos a hacer prensa por primera vez en Colombia. Le vamos a hacer la prensa en Colombia de la película First Child. ¿Por qué? Porque está de protagonista nuestro querido amigo del canal, Jhon Jatenjors. Así que, por favor, coméntanos un poco y que seamos los primeros en prensa en Colombia.
This will be like an exclusive mostly for Colombia and Latin America, because, our friend Jhon Jatenjors starts on First Shift. So anything you want to tell us about it and allow us the honor to talk about this movie, hopefully first in Latin America. Go ahead.
Yeah, Gino was the first actor I hired on First Shift. And he was like the perfect, he plays the lead, basically is an investigator, and he wants to work alone. But then he gets Kristen Renton as his new partner. So he has to take her on her first shift. She came into New York from Atlanta. And so on this specific day, they have a lot of shit hits the fan situation with knife stabbings, mafia killings. Even have to help a dog who lost the owner because the owner got a heart attack. So they have to put a dog in the car and everything. So you have some funny moments too, but you have also some gruesome and violent stuff. And Gino was genius, I have to say, because I let him develop his own character. I've sent him what I've wrote, and he came up with so many changes, so many also thinks he knows better because he lived so long in New York. He lives in Pittsburgh, but he knows better in New York how the cops talk and whatever, right? For me, I just wanted to make a cop film, a police film in New York. But me as a German, I can write in English, but I cannot write in English the dialogue. The dialogue needs to get written by the actors or by another scriptwriter who can basically knows better how they actually talk, right? With me, it's everything, of course, with a German accent to it, and not really how in New York a cop talks or how in New York a doctor talks. I cannot write that because I just don't know it.
Sucio, que fue un genio, de hecho, porque es una película, tú sabes, ¿no? Es un investigador y en medio de un trabajo le llega pues, esta otra gente, Kirsten, muy buena actriz, por cierto, y de repente ocurren un montón de cosas que él dice que son muy fuertes, pero lo increíble del papel es que al tratarse, Uwe siempre tuvo el sueño de hacer una película de policía en Nueva York, pero pues, tú sabes, él es alemán. Pues en pocas palabras, Gino construyó todo el personaje, los diálogos, todo. Él dijo, no, yo me quiero sentir, como él vivió en Nueva York, quiero que se sienta como si estuviera en Nueva York. Dice, entonces, hay que mostrarle eso a Gino, que se hizo un papelazo, tío.
Por favor. Y por último, ¿cómo define su trabajo en una palabra? Está pues para...
Okay, it's crazy because John always do this question from all the guesses, but we need to know your answer. How do you define your work, your movies, your career in one word?
How I define my movies in one word?
Yes.
Or my career? One word. Exciting.
Yeah,
in Spanish will be excitante. Yeah. In Spanish. Yeah.
But you cannot say it in one word, right? So because it was stressful, it was funny, but it was also big drama sometimes. It was a lot of tension and not a lot of sleep. And, but of course, I think overall it was very exciting. So that's the reason the one word works.
I will tell that to John. John dice que es muy difícil porque hubo mucho estrés, hubo mucha diversión, hubo muchas peleas, hubo muchas horas de sueño, pero pues acá está y yo creo que es la mejor respuesta que han dado en el canal porque pues tú sabes que esperábamos esa respuesta.
Claro, y también felicidades por Ron. Ron es el próximo proyecto que está Costas Mándelo, el papucho Mándelo.
And this is not a question. Congratulations also from Ron, the amazing Costas Mandylor. That was here, of course. He stars on that movie, so a big shout out from that movie from him and from you, of course. And John, ¿qué más? Dime.
Redes sociales y un saludo para Colombia.
The camera is yours, Uwe. Send a big hi to Colombia, to wherever you want, and tell your social media so people can follow you or stay tuned for a movie. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have bollfilms.com. I can send you an email with my social media contacts. Uwe Boll 7 is my Twitter or X, and Uwe Boll Films is my Instagram. So I use social media to just inform what's going on, what I'm working on, and I release some posters or clips or trailers from the films. We are doing the post-production of Run right now, the film I did with Costas Manolo, where Amanda Plummer, James Russo, very good cast. And it's a different film about migration, I think. It's not this typical European drama where you have this kind of depressed kind of thing, the people coming in and nobody gets a job or whatever. It's more an action film, what plays in one day, where I show like that it's in Europe now with all the boat refugees, that it's very dangerous and very violent and very costly also. The migrants getting basically screwed over from smugglers. A lot of people drawn. There are 40,000 dead people in Europe. They fell out of the boat. 40,000 in 10 years. This is unbelievable high, the death rate. And still the people go every day on the boats. And I wanted to show a film where you see all of this, where you see it, that it's a lose-lose situation. And that also in Europe now, when they're arriving the towns in Spain and Italy, that the people there, they don't want them anymore. They destroy the tourism. They destroy the business. So they are not welcome, and they're not making tons of money when they come. So they're living in an illusion that it's so much better in Europe, but a lot of times it's not.
Wow, John, esta película se ve que es fuego. Porque no, bueno, ahora hablo de sus redes. Pues John, es una película distinta de migración, porque es de migración y acción. Todo transcurre en 1 o 2 días con costas, imagínate, y con ese elencazo, porque John no va a taparse nada de la violencia, de lo que pasa con las personas que pasan allá, los inmigrantes, que no va a tapar nada de lo que le ocurre a los migrantes. Pues imagínate con el papu de costas.
No, increíble, congratulations. Uwe, por último, vamos a tomar la foto como despedida. Perfect.
I can email you a few photos over from Run.
Wow.
From the film. Yeah.
Lo incrustaremos ahí en la entrevista.
Yeah, I can do that per email. I use your email, right? I will send it per email.
Yeah. Wow, thank you. John, que te va a enviar imágenes de Ron. Obviamente, sí, las costas.
Uwe, gracias por la oportunidad, gracias por el espacio. Congratulations, God bless you.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you so much.
We stay in contact. Okay.
Yeah, John, que están en contacto. Y gracias, muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Uwe, bye-bye, Uwe.
You saved everything. Can I leave the conversation or you... I can leave the Zoom. So it's all safe. You're not like, okay. Okay, very good. Okay, bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Great week.
Thank you.